will suffer a bit more, even though he is a laner that can make a comeback into it because of the gold mechanic. Still, you put zero pressure on the enemy safe lane, so I'll go with PSG.LGD.
Prepare for battle.
You know, had a trip a little while ago. Won't tell you what kind of trip, but in that trip I figured that I would go for health.
Now you're fish food. Salmon!
Running out of ideas.
This pleases me to no end.
Yeah. And that shard originally sieged.
You guys don't go anywhere, we still might need you.
Yeah, we'll be back to you guys in like 2 seconds, so don't go anywhere, Black. You can't take your nap yet. Stay awake, stay with us as we're on into game 1. LGD Elephant. I'm really excited for it. This is a big one.
30 seconds.
I definitely thought it would have a little bit more meaning, but I think here at the midpoint of the table, I think the series holds more meaning. Maybe it would have helped less if they were just both at the top, right? This could be the difference in major and not.
At this point, you know, it's their 4th series, so I mean, it's still very important for both of the teams. You know what bothers me? Like, because of this pause,
the battle begins.
PSG.LGD could have maybe won the game, but now that the game is paused, it's gonna be played possibly different. You know, like, what could have happened is not gonna happen. I always thought about that whenever I played. You know, like, this pause might make things harder for us. FY, boost of speed, Fisher not available for 4 seconds.
Fortune's end kill, for instance.
First blood, Innocent Stakes, also known as Y.
Yeah, it used to be Y Innocence. A lot of people still calling him Innocence. I can't get over it. It sounds
much better than Y.
Yeah,
have to agree.
And he'll always be Y Innocence in my heart. Back in the Wings days.
Something I've seen other teams doing when they're playing against the Terrorblade is rotate 3 people, other support hides in the trees, and they take out Terrorblade, because he's a very squishy hero, level 1, look at his HP. 540, 1 gush. Oh, Red Panda, what are you doing?
Getting into a bad spot, trying to take out GQ
not too
first.
bad.
He did.
It's actually a better trade, because, you know, your TB is getting a free farm. You got XP for that kill, solo one, but you also gave solo XP to the side. Still worth it for AA, I would say. I talked about how they will need to pull the lane back against the Terrorblade. Exactly what JinQ did, because it's very hard for Headhunter level 1 to just play into meta.
Right. TB, look at where he has to farm right now, and like you said, he's pretty weak. He used that first Metamorphosis to try and farm up with it. And then from there, you know, maybe we see LG put some more pressure on the TB. But sitting 8 and 5, 8 and 6 right now for this Terrorblade. Take a look over bottom. Ame getting hit by a fissure. Blocked out for a second. Fortune's End onto Yang. This should be enough to proc the Jingu. And there it is. So just putting harassment on the Doom. Not looking like he's having the best of lanes at the moment. He is 5-0, so he's okay with that. And there's the balance strike that also connects with him. Yeah, still getting harassed up quite a bit.
Just a little bit of harassment, a bit of a life steal. So Ame on the bottom lane, doing okay, as we expect. Like, they don't put too much pressure, but Doom is getting levels. He's not dying. Ring of Protection boosts his speed, wants to be able to outrun Monkey King and have some extra protection against them. Always wear protection against the Monkey King. You need to have that high armor, as all he does at the early stages is straight up physical damage. Doom, a hero that doesn't have too much armor.
So, also in this lane though is FY the Earthshaker, and it's something we talked about when the hero got picked, was FY's previous performance with this Earthshaker, where he went arcane boots first. Something that slowed down his blink dagger, slowed down his progression, and it was a game that Elephant just kind of got, you know, destroyed it.
They won that game, if I remember correctly.
At the end of the day, did they?
Yeah, I think they did. But they started to play Dota after Earthshaker got a blink. He went Mana Boots into blink, got blink 19 minutes in, if I remember correctly. Most of the Earthshakers skipped Mana Boots. We'll see how this one goes.
top lane. Faith Beyond freezing over, and now into the Metamorphosis. He's in trouble. Pops the Fairy Fire, but one more shot from Eurus to get the kill. Cold Feet onto Jingqiu again, but he's able to walk it off, unlike his lane partner of the Tidehunter.
Tide Puck can't play into TB once the meta is up. Should just try to trade farm whenever meta is down, possibly try to get a kill while he's in melee form. But don't try to fight into meta. We see a rotation to secure the runes. Red Panda will pick up the invis.
So that doesn't go to either mid. No bottles getting filled up, but certainly thinking about going in onto Nothing to Say. He's staying nearby, and eventually we'll see if they look to make this move, because they've got the Earthshaker here too. They need to try and lock him up where we see potentially the Cold Feet proc over, but I think Earthshaker got found out, so he'll back away. So FY not going for this. Ancient Apparition will also go back towards top. That left Terrorblade by himself for a little while, but they didn't capitalize on getting a kill just yet.
Beyond, he used a gush on a creep, didn't get the last hit. Eurus getting a denied there. Bound to rune spawning, Nothing to Say, trying to stack some camps for himself.
Cold Feet procking again on Faith Beyond. So FY looking towards the bounty runes for each other. So that'll end up being, I believe, 3 for 1 in favor of LGD. Faith Beyond, he's normally the anchor for this team. Usually one
No puns intended again?
No, still no puns intended. But, you know, he's usually the guy who comes out of the laning phase always with a decent game. For right now, it looks all right. It looks like he's doing well. It's one of those things, like if Faith Beyond's having a good game, I think the rest of LGD are following suit, especially Jingqiu seems to be enabled by how well Faith Beyond does.
Surprised there's no points in Kraken Shell. Second point in Gush seems a bit too much on a Tidehunter. If you're playing into TB, like you want to have some kind of physical resistance, some kind of damage block. They're making a move on the top. There's the Gush. He's level 5.
Illusory Orb over, charging up the Fortune's out with Purifying Flames. They don't have the damage to kill Eurus. They're already TPing in FY.
Last in Terrorblade, right-click damage under the tower. 20 armor. What is that? That's 56% physical resistance on him?
Wow. Already, too. Just 6 minutes into the game. Bottom lane still. Ame now hitting that level 6. There was a point in time where Ame just went Battle Fury Ags every time with this Monkey King, and right now he is building that Battle Fury, so I'll be interested to see. Probably will be Battle Fury Ags. Once the Ags kind of gets left down, but we'll see.
I'm more of an Ags fan than the Battle Fury. It still gives you farm. It allows you to fight with the team early on. Like Maelstrom into Ags is also fine. Maelstrom into BKB is fine. Just Battle Fury delays your timings. It's a more of a late game oriented build on a Monkey King.
Yeah, so if you're looking to bring it late, is that a matchup that you're okay with up against the TB and 5v5?
If you're standing in Wukong, you get the extra armor, so you're fine, but you know, it's not all about that. I would still prefer if that's something that comes online a bit earlier, instead of just trying to play the late game against the TB. We've seen TBs just taking over.
Astros Aether Remnant with the Fissure. They'll get the kill on the Innocence very quickly. Somnus getting credit for that. The first rotation from a mid over to a side lane. Nothing to Say, not doing much yet with this Bat Rider, though I don't know if I expect him to be doing much, at least at this moment with that Bat.
He can farm the jungle, while like Jingqiu needs a lane to be able to get some kind of levels. TP's back to the bottom lane. Doom is level 6. Rotation not successful from the Elephant.
And Doom, so far, farming a little bit better than the counterpart of Tide, but that's to be expected. We used to see, there was a time, of course, when Doom was picked up all the time and was sitting top of the net worth constantly from the offlane.
Dire's top tower is under
That
attack.
was just months of just seeing Doom first
On
pick.
Monkey King, use that trusty shovel. There it goes.
Lasso coming through out of the
lasso.
Void Spirit. They've got Faith Beyond here to use Ravage as well.
I think a simple gush would be enough, just to lower the armor with a couple of right clicks. And the Tide and the Innocence Oracle should be enough, but okay, you know, that early Ravage being used, not that big of a deal. You want to use it anyway, get a kill. So all fine and dandy. Bottom lane, Ame's playing so careful on this lane. Understands Yang wants to pop that Doom on me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm his target. If they bring one more hero, I'm probably dead.
And you can see it.
Mid lane,
The
Fisher.
second, yeah, Doom, Fissure, Jinkyu trying to leave with the illusory orb. They've got the silence onto the Void Spirit. Astro Step
Radiant's
still
middle
looking
tower
for
is under
Jinkyu,
attack.
but Somnus unable to keep up. Very close and back up towards top. Really in the jungle, you can see that Terrorblade's kind of backed off and isn't farming this top lane anymore. But Red Panda getting really close to that level 6, so they'll have the Ice Blast online in just a second. It's going to be a big point of contention for Elephant, especially with the Void Spirit. You could set up Aether Remnant, Ice Blast if you're close to
Dire's
each
top
other.
tower is under
Really
attack.
could potentially be devastating for LGD if they're not ready for it.
Good setup with the Fisher for AA Blast. It's online. Let's see if they decide to
Radiant's
use it.
bottom tower
Your
is
level
under
5
attack.
being level 6. It's something you want to see because your TB does not want to farm the lane, just wants to be in the jungle. Let's see first AA
Dire's
ulti
structures are fortified.
if they decide to go for it. Like, Doom has been online for quite some time. Is not getting
Radiant's bottom
too
tower
much
is
from
under
bottom
attack.
lane. Needs to be very careful how he approaches. He knows that there's probably going to be some rotation.
Ooh, Ice
with the
Blast
catapult.
on a nothing to say over top. And you follow up to this though. Red Panda just kind of used it. Not that it's the longest cooldown ult in the world, but I think if you have one guy there, maybe the Void Spirit of Somnus
Dire's
comes
top
over, you
tower
could
is
get
under
a kill.
attack.
But for right now, he's sitting on him with Yang.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
TV,
attack.
top of the net worth at the moment.
Dire's top tower is under
Ahmed
attack.
still on the bottom.
Dire
If there are
are
no
scanned.
rotations coming to help him out, like he should just move from this lane. He's going in.
Primal Spring right on a
Dodges.
Somnus.
Nice
Hold
dodge.
Cool on a 2. They throw out the Doom. That's going to be onto the Batrider who's already used Firefly. They get the kill on Somnus. They look over at Yang, and that's 2 kills for LGD Elephant.
AA Blast.
Unable to make anything from this.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
That was close.
So first Doom used, they got nothing out of that. What a play from Ahmed, man. He was
Dire's
sitting on those
bottom
trees,
tower
2
is under
TTs
attack.
come in. They had the time to prepare for this. And goes in, uses Mischief. If they get Euros here, that's going to be really big. Oh, Ahmed coming in.
They look over at FY. Standing top of the echo. Ahmed getting low. Now
Good
Ravage.
Ravage.
And down goes Eurus. Another 2-man wipe here for them. And Red Panda trying to make some happen with that Ice Blast. However, he'll end up going down. Nothing to say. And Ahmed both drop on LGD. I'll take Yang though too. And 3 heroes got on the side of Elephant. Maybe even 5. Somnus still trying
Only
to
has
fight
one
this.
natural step to work with, so needs to be careful. Gush. Not enough mana.
Aether Remnant locks up this Tide, but they've got the silence onto the Void Spirit. Somnus dissimulate. Thought he might go
Does not
for
want to
Faith
go
Beyond.
in. There's the Fisher. Can they reset? The natural step is ready, but so is Coil.
Need to be careful.
No mana, man. Everyone is out of mana.
Natural step. Aether Remnant Somnus. Woo! Coming back and getting the kill on the Jinkyu.
Mistake from Jinkyu. He thought, I'll try to go for a sneaky play, possibly silence it before, but
Radiant
was
structures
out of
are
mana.
fortified.
So a couple of kills they got in return on side of Elephant.
Dire's top tower is
Batrider's
under
gonna be
attack.
huge in this game. I feel like there's always the same story with the Batrider. He
Radiant's
just completely
bottom tower
dominates.
has been
This hero
denied.
is so good right now. Blink Dagger finished. One thing they have going good for them is there's no counterplay to Blink Lasso play. Possibly a Fisher, but that's it. Like, you don't have Oracle, you do not have Shadow Demon, Legion Commander to bridge that off.
Trying to think like, yeah, once you have maybe Shard or
Radiant's
Shaker, you can
bottom
kind of
tower
stop
is
him
under
from
attack.
doing much. If you can lock him down enough while that lasso is going up, that's still far away.
And we can see the issue with the mana boots on Shaker, where he needs a lane. Like, he needs a lane for himself for 2-3 minutes to be able to farm that Blink Dagger. But the fight here is right now. Lasso, not afraid to use it on position 5, just to get a kill.
Continue to bump up in net worth, going Boots of Travel, has the Blink Dagger now into the BKB. Like, yeah, nothing to say. He's had a lot of farm. And it's back to talking about FY going into the Arcane Boots. Like, this is so much gold. He could be close to a Blink Dagger right now.
Yeah, and this is the time you want to, you know, take a fight with the team, try to get some pressure off your TB. Doom Blink is available. Ravage also online. All these heroes constantly have no mana. Like Fate Beyond just has enough mana for one spell.
And the Waning Rift, now the Doom is used on Puck. Shockwave thrown from Yang, and they get the fissure onto 2. False Promises there to save the Puck. They're going to continue to chase, or well, I mean just Yang. Going after this Puck. Nothing to say gets the kill on a Red Panda, so they do end up trading 1 for 1. It was the Bat Rider who finished off that Ancient Apparition over in the jungle, while Yang continued to chase for this Puck.
Elephant doesn't have a good chase potential once they pop that Doom. There's Fissure, there's Void Spirit. Void Spirit's still very afraid to just go in that aggressively, and there's so many ways to disengage a team fight for PSG.LGD. Monkey King's Boundless Strike, just a Flame Break could get them away from the Doom target. Like, you have Ravage, you have Oracle ulti, a lot of the stuff that, you know, and it's easy to play Dota.
Now they've got Ravage used again. They'll go after this Doom. Yang in trouble and burnt out by nothing to say.
Under attack.
They have not been scared to use this Ravage off cooldown, and they have constantly
This is
used
how
it
you
for
should
pressure on.
use the Ravage. Like, don't care about the cooldown. Pretty much, if the enemy team can't take the Roshan, you just pop it. Like, you don't care too much. I want to see what his item build is going to be here after Blink Dagger. We've seen some Arcane Blinks to lower the cooldown and the inability for the enemy team to just pop their BKBs. Like, you need to be inhumanly fast to actually do it.
I wouldn't mind the Arcane Blink, especially with the way that they're playing around this Ravage at the moment. Every time it's up, go, go, go. I like that, especially with the Arcane Blink.
Could tank up a bit, possibly get a Hood. I wouldn't mind Hood playing into Void Spirit, Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition, so that's a ton of magical damage.
Meanwhile,
Close to the Battle Fury. Like, he's as farmed as DB right now with that Battle Fury. DB sitting on Manta style for now, working towards BKB to be able to stand his ground and take a fight.
Going bottom, Aether and Coil, that comes down onto just the Doom. I believe Somnus avoided it. They get the kill on nothing to say, not trading Yang. Jinq trying to get the kill on Somnus, maybe get a 2 for 1 in his favor, but the damage coming out from Somnus might be too much. Aether Remnant, phase shift, Illusory Orb with the Waiting Rift, they get that kill. They'll take out Somnus. Jinq outplaying that Void Spirit. Very impressive from him.
Good trade, and they also got a kill on Doom on top of that, so 1 for 2 trade.
Haven't really talked about where Eurus is at right now. Manta finished, going into the BKB, has the Mithril Hammer for that.
Once Puck finishes his Aghanim Scepter, he got a lot of gold. I would love to see Ags after a blink. Yeah, that's what he has queued up, where he wants to be able to just keep them in place for possibly Ravage, and it's such a great synergy with Wukong's command.
Fissure being used, and see FY close to that blink. Might be a moment where Elephant go and smoke once they have it, but it's difficult fighting into potentially Ravage shooting Coil Lasso. The timings aren't right. We'll see. Ravage is up now. So yeah, you have the Blink Echo, but I don't know if you really want to fight into this LGD side.
Stick around the Roche. They're actually going inside another Roach. Okay, I was like, yeah, they don't have enough damage, and realized there's the Aghanim Scepter down on Monkey King, so that's gonna help out.
Yeah.
Man, it could backfire. They're on the bottom lane. If you scout them out with just an Echo and AA Blast, it should be enough. There's the AA Blast. Where's the Echo? We're looking for a couple of $1 million Echo Slam here.
Middle tower
They're
is
not
under
bailing from
attack.
pitches yet, but MY, he's going forward
Oh,
with
man.
it.
This might backfire. Oh, man. Okay, he actually gets it. So many Wukongs.
Radiant's
Just not
middle
warriors
tower is
inside.
under attack.
That was a missed opportunity from Elephant. Could easily be punished.
Yeah, that was not a fast Roach at all.
Radiant
They had the
structures are
AA
fortified.
Blast ready to go. They had scanned it. They knew those heroes were in the pit. And they just didn't make a move. Or, well, really the move they were making was just too slow. A little
Dyer's
surprising
top
there. A
tower
little
is under attack.
complacent.
Radiant's bottom tower
Just
is under
allowing that
attack.
to happen. Is that something that obviously you're not okay with, but is TB getting the BKB and
Radiant
I would say
are
Doom
scanning.
getting closer to his BKB in the active void crit? Is that like that farming time enough to really say, hey, you know, take the Aegis, that's fine?
This Aegis kind of slows down the game for Elephant. They don't want to be taking any team fights. It's very hard for Doom to find a target with the Blink Dagger. You would ideally want to use it on the Tide Hunter, just to blow him up, you know, so he can't use the Ravage. But it could be a bit tricky. Like, Monkey King is not an option anymore. He has that Aegis. He's super strong right now. I want to see a team fight. They smoke. 8 Beyond also has that coup that I mentioned, so wants to be able to soak up some of the magical damage.
So they're looking, they're searching, they're smoked up, trying to make a jump over. Somnus, Aether Remnant balance like avoiding to the Assimilate, but there's the Ravage, that misses too! Oh, Faith Beyond!
Doesn't have Arcane Blink. That's an Arcane Blink, it hits. But, yeah. Time to bail, possibly.
Remnant locks up Ame for a second, trying to fight it, and then dying.
Already used the ulti.
Yeah, so now Wukong's comes out, and that zones him away.
Okay, Yang. That is not a bad Doom. They also used the Metamorphosis, so they can just reset.
That's got to be a little better.
Very feels bad man moment there.
You Doom anybody else.
Exactly, like Doom whoever, like just random Doom.
Yeah, even like, if especially with Ame
Even
being so
your
close.
teammates, that would just be better than dooming the Tide that already used the Ravage. Maybe he was not paying attention.
Bottom lane. FY in some trouble. Figure it out. Nothing to say who's in, but not going to matter with the Gush coming through and the kill on to this Earthshaker. That being said, though, Innocence is dead to Eurus.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Speaking of Doom on your own teammates, you know,
top
similar
tower
to
is
some
under
shards,
attack.
lasso on your own teammates, some other things like that. What would Doom do? If
Just
you,
heal and constant dispel. I mean, that's what apart from Shadow Demon does. I don't know.
Doom your teammates,
Gives you
they get
Lincoln
Scorched
Spear.
Earth. They walk with Scorched Earth and all the benefits. I feel like that's not bad for 1,400 gold.
Let's leave Ice Frog, that part to be caught.
Dyer's middle
And
tower
his
is under
assistants.
attack.
What if you found out I was the assistant?
I'd be pretty mad, you know.
All the changes are based on if you say yes or not.
It will also explain some of the changes. You know, did you work on Earthshaker Shard?
Yeah, I did.
There's the catch.
That comes in on Asami's balanced right now. His great panda behind him. And the kill on the Void Crit that look over the Ancient Apparition. They're continuing to chase Jinkyu there with nothing to say as Ice Blast comes in. But there's nobody to follow that up anyway. So they'll get the kill on the 2. It's a double for Ame. And Elephant now behind 4K.
It's tough for them to fight into Wukong's. BKB done on Monkey King. Aegis still there for 50 seconds. Ame is just getting so much out of the map right now. Like I talked about
Dyer's top
this being a
tower
greedy
is under
build,
attack.
but they are
Dyer's
making it work
structures are
because, you know,
fortified.
they're playing with the rest of the team. They know their timings when they're gonna strike. Arcane Blink queued on Tide, which I really like. Also, Jinkyu get that Aghanim Scepter, just 1,000 gold away. Also has Shard queued up. Nice. You get that from position 4 Puck. The knockback is nice when they're trying to
Dire's
chase.
top tower
Also, free
is under
dewarding
attack.
doesn't sound too bad either. It's like a gem investment that gives you, something else.
That's quite nice to work with. And you take a look at these stats, comparing supports right now. Q has 1 kill, 3 deaths, and 13 assists. Meanwhile, FY 3 and 5 has not felt very effective on this Earthshaker. He is 400 gold away from getting that shard, so that could change things.
Yeah, game's just over. Earthshaker gets the shard. They type GG, go next. It's one that gives you so much. For people who watched professional Dota in the last month, they know what I'm talking about. They've probably seen some OP stuff.
Yeah, and for people just joining us for the first time throughout the season, be prepared for what is honestly ridiculous. Coming over at mid-point game, but now the Wukongs, they got the Dream Coil down. It's going to go really big for Elephant. They already taken out F5. They've got the BKB caught by Eurus. He's trying to get into the Wukong's command. Somnus right behind them with the Gil 0 coming through from Jinkyu. Doesn't have Dream Coil anymore. Red Panda being chased by Fiddy's Beyond. One more right click. They get the Sun Beam. They're looking forward. They've got the Sunder as well. The right click's out. There's nothing to say, but they've taken out Yang and the Wu's nothing to say, so it ends up being a 3-for-1 for now. But Eurus chased by Ame. Fiddy's Beyond. He's in with imbalance right kicks as well because they've got the right click and the kill onto this Terrorblade. Sam is the only one to survive on
Ravage
Elephant.
still available. Let's see if he can fake it.
Assimilate now doesn't really have much
Jumps on
damage.
top of that.
Untied. I don't even know if they need the Ravage.
It's one of those, they know I'm gonna go in the trees, and LGD doesn't fall for that. They just run straight. He shows on top of them. So let's see if the respawn time in a minute and 30 seconds. They can't get anything out of that. Jinkyu finishes his Aghanim Scepter. So yeah, they try to go on Innocence, kill off the Oracle first.
Dire's
He gets the
top
ulti
tower
off,
is under
not
attack.
enough to lock him down. Good counter initiation by Puck there. Oracle still lives.
Yeah, never a chance for F1 to get it. An Echo Slam off. Alme was in a great position inside the trees. Didn't even have to Primal Spring down early. He could just Wukongs from that position, and it was enough to engulf the side of Elephant for a good enough time where LGD and then follow this up. They do end up losing, nothing to say, but when you take a full team wipe, casualty.
Batrider, not a hero with the most armor. 18 minutes in, doesn't build any item that gives you armor. Could potentially get like a casual plate mail possibly.
Right.
Or just to be able to not die to a couple of hits from DB after finishing that goal. I always remember I always forget the name of that item, Octarine Core. For some reason my brain just says no, you can't remember that one. Nope.
But you got it there.
The good one, yeah, the good one in this patch, the one that upgrades from the Ether Lens. It's such a big buff to an item.
Yeah, the build on it is...
It's an easy one. It's like, yeah, I would want to get that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to buy Ether Lens on a lot of the heroes and just have something to upgrade.
It really is a great change for that item, and I think it works out for a lot of these heroes now to have that upgrade, or well, that change to build.
Dire's top
So
tower
Elephant
is
down
under
8k,
attack.
nothing to say, but he's still towards the top of the net worth,
Dire's
13k.
top tower has fallen.
Somnus and Yang are really far behind. The two of them just haven't exactly popped off. Like, Somnus had a couple of good moments, but other than that, it's been pretty much all LGD.
Yeah, Doom really kind of struggling to go for the right targets. Doom, Tidehunter already
Radiant's
used the
bottom
Ravage
tower
ones. There's
is
the
under
smoke
attack.
from Elephant. Let's see what they can find from that.
Yang needs to be careful. Lotus Orb on Faith Beyond now. See how quickly Beyond is going to trigger to get that Lotus. It's not even going to matter when they've got the lasso. Helping with the creature. He comes out and then he's onto the top hunter.
They're not taking that fight.
They get the kill onto Yang. They will go for Eurus who pops the BKB as well. The Metamorphosis, nothing to say, getting really low. They will cover it on me. It's going to be a 1v1 fight. He does have Sunder and will Sunder FY.
Why didn't he just Sunder a little deep? Okay, they will still probably get a kill on Monkey.
Fisher complete on procs with the shard. They got themselves the totem. They get the kill on Ahmed. They look over at the rest. Innocent trying to run. Oracle into trouble.
Where's the Ravage?
He's slowed up, but he's still got Ravage. We get to set it up. There it is. Ravage comes in. Summon's locked up. Fisher comes out. That's going to be another 4. Can he get anything down? There's the Echo Slam.
Nothing to say in Innocent. They both fall. 3 heroes got on the side of LGD, but you've lost 3 on Elephant. Jinku as well as Fabian trying to get out of this one. Eurus, Red Panda, they've been dusted. And now Red Panda trying to hide inside the trees. One shot from dead, turning it around on Fabian. Metamorphosis doesn't have a lot of time though.
Jinku still going in. Banning Rift available.
He gets up onto the high ground. Now the phase shift. Oh, it blink away. Jinku, Waning Rift getting some distance. Illusory Orb, he is away from Elephant, going in deep, trying to get a 5 position, and just escapes.
So many mistakes in that fight. Like, TB using ulti on the Earthshaker, he could have easily used it on a Monkey King. Oracle not popping ulti on Monkey to keep him alive. He was there. Not sure if anything stunned him or he just got out. I want to see that one again.
Moving forward, you can see his positioning. He's up north of this fight. They're 1v1ing right now.
Yeah, you can see the bad
Kong.
you know, just dropping very, very low from those TB hits.
I think
Radiant's
the fissure
top
comes out
tower
from
is
FY.
under
It might
attack.
hit Innocence.
Okay, so Monkey was EKB, that's why he couldn't use the Sunder, and yeah.
So many particle
The
effects, it's hard to tell.
silence from the Volt Spirit actually kept Oracle from using the
that
false promise
off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't really notice, but nicely done by Somnus. He was like ready to pop it, could turn the whole thing around.
And that Echo Slam, he doesn't have to get right on top of all of that.
That was just, you know, the shard, how good it is. And the animation of it. Yeah, it feels like he's using Echo Slam all the time. He's just using Enchanted Autumn on a fish.
That really, it's pretty gross, that shard. It's a lot of focus, it kind of just takes over. But now another Aegis into the hands of LGD. Like, that fight goes right for Elephant, but not right enough where they feel comfortable going after this Roach or contest it. So it's still a 9k lead for LGD. Aegis, Basher,
I didn't even see that,
BKB, and
you know,
Battle Fury.
Monkey had BKB in that fight. All the Chinese players have the best cosmetics. They're all glowing. They didn't even recognize BKB there.
Under everything, it was kind of tough to
I mean,
see.
look at the Batrider. What is that?
I don't
It's just some
like
Halloween
that one.
costume. Look at his attacks. It's just insane. Attack something, Batrider. Come on, poke it, poke it. Let's see.
Come on. You got this. We're not moving. We're just going to follow nothing to say
Follow the
until he
Batrider
right-clicks.
until he shows how rich he is.
It's getting there. The creeps will come together. There we go. All right.
Attack something. Doesn't even want to attack. Like, he's
He knows,
listening.
he
He's
knows.
listening to us for sure.
They're sniping. Yeah, that emblem. I think like a week ago when we talked about how much that emblem was, it was like 1,500.
Now the price probably 3,000
yeah.
at least.
But there are some really cool cosmetics in the Chinese region. I won't talk about them now because I'll talk your ears off about it, but we'll see them eventually, hopefully.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Fissure,
attack.
Totem,
The ramming out the Ice Blast. They have an opportunity to get the kill here on the Ame.
and the Ice Blast, BKB, False Promise. That all gets committed with the Blink. The Blink comes command. Ravage committed. Fissure comes in, but no follow-up just yet from Elephant.
Takes Somnus, but at what cost?
Dire's bottom tower
Ulti's
has
expended.
Yeah, that costs a lot.
It cost a lot. They could still possibly try to go and take a fight, but in my opinion, just reset, wait for those abilities to come online again, and take another fight. So yeah, Elephant, they smoke. Even without Somnus, they feel like they can take this fight 4 versus 5. It's actually 4 versus 6 with that Aegis.
Risky endeavor. Okay. Yang stuck. Just for a moment. There's still smoke. They're still looking for an opportunity. Somnus 34 seconds away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Beyond's showing himself. We know he has no Ravage right now. Ame down on the ground. There's the Ice Blast. That one strike that comes through. Right on top of this Ancient Inspiration. Red Panda goes into the Glimmer Cape, but can't survive. They get the Kona Fate. They look over at Jim. They've got himself a second, but behind them, though, is nothing to say. Who goes across the tier 2 tower, looking to focus FY. Totem eats the cheese, surviving for now with the BKB. Gets up onto the high ground. Eurus as well as Yang trying to chase, but the blink away
Dire's middle
means
tower
he's
is
out
under attack.
safely.
Man, what a play from Elephant. They are actually understanding how much damage TV can do with the freshly bought Daedalus. It's such an easy setup for AA ulti. Fisher into Totem with the shard. It's just a setup that can't miss.
Yeah. And it adds so much. These early BKBs too. They're becoming lower and lower with each engagement. Maybe an opportunity for Elephant to take advantage of that. 5 seconds already for the Bat Rider. Wow.
They need some kiting potential, a bit more survivability. I would want to see... Lincoln's Fury is fine on the Bat Rider, but I also want to see a casual plate mail or like no scepter possibly.
I sense.
Lasso through on Somnus. Fisher. FY Totem looking for an opportunity. Looking nothing to say. Uses the Echo Slam. They get the kill on a nothing to say. But Ame unscathed and free to walk.
Talking about free to walk, Earthshaker also free to walk on the Fisher with that shard. Much easier setup.
Value strike. Primal Spring in. Aether Remnant. They got the stun so for the Fisher as well as the Totem. Purifying Flame starting to heal up FY. Blink. Atheon was looking for that gush, but they don't kill the Earthshaker.
6k gold lead for PSG.LGD. Can't really feel that there's too much difference in how they're fighting right now.
Yeah. Finding Jinx down on 2.
Big Ravage hit 3.
It's on the 3 though. Drop 2 into the gem, looking over, making the
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They need
level 25 for
Terrorblade.
Ame.
Like, if they're fighting without a Terrorblade, they don't have enough damage. Terrorblade just shreds through these heroes. But they decided to take it. But yeah, you talked about the levels. Ame is level 26.
That's
just
so
insane.
fast.
Full butterfly completed. To be able to reduce some damage coming out from the TB right clicks.
Back to 10k. That one fight alone, 4,000 net worth in the favor of LGD. Downward strike coming through on a Eurus. Now the last time to follow it up on the Terrorblade. They're locking him down. He's got the BKB as well as the Sunder goes into the Metamorphosis. Starts right clicking away. Nothing to say, but they can't get the kill just yet. Ice Blast coming in. Not going to be on the...
he goes back. Nothing to say. He gets killed. Here's some trouble. Forced that back. Surviving with the Metamorphosis. Trying to get the right kick through. FY Blink. Right on top of the monkey. He's still continuing to chase onto Ame with the balance. Trying to come through against the kill on the FY. Does Eurus have the damage? 4 heroes around this Terrorblade. Red Panda trying to help him, but he's just an ancient apparition. They've got the stun onto the Tidehunter again. He's got so much damage. The waiting rip that'll push him a little bit, as well as the silence, but Yang's in. Yang, Inferno Blade, continuing to chase the Tidehunter, who's sort of by the chilling touch of Red Panda. They've got the Inferno Blade constantly with the BKB being popped by Yang. The damage up from Eurus is finally enough to take up Tidehunter, who is now dominating.
You could see the power of Butterfly in that fight. If
Dire's
he didn't
middle
have
tower
it,
is
Monkey
under
King
attack.
is just straight up dead. I want to see Doom. Like, didn't see too much out of this Doom use. He picked up the Aghanim Scepter, so the cooldown is reduced to 88 seconds with the Quickening Charm, and it also applies Break on the target, which is very nice against the Monkey King, so he can't use that Jingu.
Panda helping Eurus as much as he can. Sometimes it feels difficult as an ancient apparition to feel like you're doing something. That Ice Blast hit on nothing to say. He was out of it for a second and then just walked back on the edge of it.
Walk back in. Like, if he TP's out, his TP is 26-second cooldown because of the Quickening Charm, Octarine Core. Like, he can just TP and TP back into the fight.
Yeah. So FY has that Aether Lens going into Lincoln's now. So we'll see if we get to that Lincoln's Shivas for Doom. And everybody here for Elephant trying to make a move. As MKB is next on the docket for TB, who has right now BKB in the back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Interesting.
Puts Power Dreads in the backpack. Picked up a double damage with the borrowed bottle from Somnus. There should be an easy tier 2 tower.
They might
no
pressure
defense.
with the double damage.
Yeah, they want to take a fight right now for sure.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Monkey has
Radiant's
Scotty queued
bottom
up,
tower
but
is under
if
attack.
TB decides to get a butterfly
Dire's
from
top
some, okay.
tower
So
is
like
under
this,
attack.
so many
Dire
mind games
are
happening between the carries. You see one carry having butterfly. They're like, I need to get it maybe late for myself, but I also want to buy an MKB. then like Monkey King is okay. If he's getting that, maybe I'm getting something else.
I love that. You see like one item, and it's just like, all right. Maybe I'll get MKB, like you said. Maybe I'll get Butterfly. We'll see how it goes. 8th row is picked up for Puck. Moving to the Octarine. Puck going, Batrider going 4-stab. He's already got an Octarine.
Timeless Relic. All right, this is it. This is something we've seen yesterday.
Oh, no. It gets worse.
Like it just keeps getting worse. Spell Prison. Like they've been just blessed by the items. Leveler on DB. Earthshaker, like give it to him. Like where is it? Spell Prison on the Void Spirit, of course. And it's flying on the Courier, I believe. Yes, it is.
This is like the best item drop I've ever seen for one team. I think compared to what Stormcrafter on the other side.
And Stormcrafter is just why?
Trickster Cloak. Okay. Minotaur Horn.
Dire's top
I like that.
tower is under attack.
Trickster Cloak for the Tidehunter, who doesn't have that arcane blink.
Radiant's middle tower
Decided
is
to
under
get
attack.
Lotus Orb against the possible
Dire's
Thunder.
top
They're
tower
in.
is under
There is
attack.
the Fissure with the totem right on top of the Oracle. Innocence can't live. He's got buyback. But Dr. Somnus use that balance strike and get possibly. He's going to win. FY looking for an opportunity, but can't go into the Wukong's command. Circle. He's going to be pop here by Ame. Going after Yang. Gets the kill onto the moon. No problem. Look over as Innocence has bought back. Dream Coil down. However, FY in some trouble. Oh, the Waiting Rift almost actually pushed him out of it. Now he does get pushed out. He's stunned up. But nothing to say. Saved by the false promise. Just surviving doesn't look like it's going to be enough to save his life completely, though, as they look over now at the Monkey King. Thinking about re-engaging, but on the backside of this, they'll get Jingqiu instead. So Puck way too deep. Dead for 90 seconds. Nothing to say gone for 85.
Eurus just deals a ton of damage. He can also stand his ground inside of Wukong's command, considering
Radiant's
how
middle tower
farm
is
he
under
is. He's
attack.
sitting at the 38 armor. A bit of a disconnect once again. Good Doom coming out on the Tidehunter, so he can't pop that Ravage. Now Tidehunter has a Refresher Orb, so 2 ultis.
Radiant's middle tower
325.
has fallen.
Unseen.
325, that's 650. Yeah, he has exactly enough mana.
That's going to be one, and has the Refresher. Ice Blast, Abyssal Blade doesn't even need it. So he's holding Ravage right now.
Bounty.
He used Refresher. He can't use other abilities if he wants to have enough mana for both. Use the Gush, so needed a bit more time to be able to possibly use a second Ravage. This is
Radiant's
cheese.
top tower.
Refresher is really good on Monkey this time around. They have some really nice Refresher carriers. Like all of them except like Oracle feel good. Even Oracle, but most likely Tidehunter, like double foil from Puck is really good. Like the clone from Jingqiu in the fight with the knockback has a lot of synergy with the Dream Coil, where you just snap a coil, and that's the Aghanim Scepter coil.
Yeah, it's it took 2 Waning Rifts, I believe, to push FY back to snap it, but it's on such a low cooldown that it's still possible. And that was really impressive. Dream Coil with that Ags. Still looking Octarine. Lincoln's for Samus.
Playing forward into the last circle. Not sure they were expecting that. Fissure comes through with Jingqiu. Samus gets away, at least so far. Flame Break's not going to land, but they've got the Dream Coil down on a full game version as well as the Void Spirit. They bleached him up for a moment. They get the kill onto Yank. They take it for the 2. But now the silence on the Mad Riders looking for Jingqiu. Ame comes in. Flame Break comes forward. Extra step. Gets some space. FY Totem once again. And just locking him down. Red Panda trying to TP out. Fortune's End is there. They'll take Red Panda out of the TP and take him out of this game for 65 seconds.
Well, chasing, can they get anything? No, they can't. Like, the biggest problem that Shard Fissure with me is that you don't need to stand on the Fissure. You can stand anywhere.
They started back up.
Yeah, when I first said it, I thought you need to stand on the Fissure, but, you know, a lot of the people probably also not realizing that.
I think people were talking about it the other day, and it was still like,
under attack.
I thought it was just on the Fissure. And people still don't know that you can use it in. Going out of the high ground. The Remnant doing deep balance like this. Samus in trouble. Hit by the last one.
And go. TV has the first drop, but it's not enough damage. This is something to follow this up. FY's just dead.
Buyback Insomnus.
Dire's
The
bottom
monkey doesn't even use his ultis. Look at these warriors just shredding through the buildings.
He's living once again. F-Fly not sure if he's going to buy back just yet. Maybe buys back if they go for more than one set of racks.
You need to buy
Time Hunter, they take nothing to say. Nothing to say buys back. Time Hunter dead for 95 without buyback. False promise saving Ame just barely.
They think they
back
just
out.
reset, go
Radiant's
in. They're
top
still
tower
tier
is
tower
under
in the
attack.
mid, but they should poke. See if Terrorblade has buyback. Even if he does, like, it's a TB without meta. He instantly popped it, got deleted from the game. These Monkey King Warriors deal so much damage. Abyssal Blade to lock him down.
They have so much lockdown for Eurus. He never gets the opportunity to get the Sunder off. He
They
tried
know there's
so
no
hard.
Echo Slam. PSG.LGD should not be
Dire's
that
middle
afraid
tower
right
is
now.
under attack. Dire's middle tower
No time
has
to
fallen.
set up the Ravage.
Like,
Maybe
you
they're
still
just-
have Aegis, you still have Refresher on
Yeah.
your Monkey, there's a cheese available on the Time Hunter. Like, they should go. 45 seconds without DB.
Do they not know he doesn't have buyback? So maybe
Even
they're
if
just
they
playing hesitant,
don't,
but
like,
he
you can
used
still
meta,
take a
right?
set of Raxes.
Very careful from
Very
LGD.
interesting play here from LGD.
And that could just be, you know, an equation of the fact that they're middle of the pack in the DPC. Every win matters. So it's falling back on playing safe. We've seen it before with these teams.
They could close out the game here.
Yeah, I think they could too, but maybe they don't want to get too ahead of themselves. I don't know. It really does feel
Aegis is gone in a
Very
minute,
close.
so you want to get something out of this Aegis.
going for the swift blink for the Monkey King.
Monkey King is so farmed. He has Aghanim Shard, he has
Dire's courier has been
Aghanim
killed.
Scepter on top of that. It's just so much damage, so much jumping from the trees. This shard, I wouldn't call it a top tier shard, but looks really good. Just a cold down and cast point.
Nobody has buyback right now. I think one fight could just do it for everybody.
Tide Hunter, the only hero with the
Now he
buyback
gets
right
it, yeah.
now. Yeah.
Loser York, Fissure, Dream Coil onto 2. That's going to snap. So F-Line commits to snapping it. However, so does Red Panda. He's in some trouble. Getting low. Balance strikes in to get the kill into 1. Ancient Apparition get for 60 seconds. Doesn't have buyback. Ame, monster kill streak for him. He is really putting on the hurt.
Terrorblade also has Shard, which gives him Demon Zeal. A bit more move speed and attack speed.
Are you a fan of Demon Zeal? Because it used to be a little bit worse, and then they gave it a little bit of a buff.
20% of current HP. You know, it works well with the lifesteal coming up from Satanic, so it's kind of a free move speed, free attack speed if you think about it.
That's next for the TP. Wukong's again, probably to try and secure this tier 3 tower. No glyph available for Elephant, so they'll have to concede it.
There's Refresher available, so you can pop it, use a BTB,
Are under attack.
check what's gonna happen. You got the tier 3 tower. Also, why does Demon Zeal icon look like Cat Batman? What is that?
It really does.
Catman.
Would you be playing the Riddler? Would you rather be tanking Riddler? Maybe the Joker?
Joker, big fan.
If you had to go up against Terrorblade, Cat Batman. Lincoln's for Somnus. Arcane Blink next for the team. Lincoln's almost finished for the Tide, so he never gets into that Arcane Blink. Chooses to go a different direction with his build. And are still looking to pressure up towards top. But at
I
the
can
same
understand
time,
that,
Ame
you know,
farming.
just getting a refresher for double ulti, now building into Lincoln Sphere, so he can protect himself against the Doom. They don't have abilities that can pop the Lincoln Sphere. That's the problem. Like, what are you gonna do? Use Cold Feet? Or Shaker possibly has a Force Staff. Terrorblade has none. Like, you don't want to use Sunder to farm for Lincolns. Doom could possibly think of getting a different creep. Maybe the Purge one.
The good thing now for Eurus, though, is he does have that extra Metamorphosis attack range. He can sit a little bit further back in these fights. That being said, LGD, they were going to jump on him the entire time anyway. They jump on him with an Abyssal Blade. They get on top of him. He's the center of the ring. It doesn't matter if you can attack from further away. You're still the center of attention. Something some people like feeling.
Some do, some don't. But yeah, even like Oracle, in a sense, queuing up or Refresher or Lincoln Sphere seems like Perseverance upgrades are really good this game.
Axe Blessing being built there for the TB. Level 30 for Ame. He is really just flying with experience. There's the Axe Blessing, eyeing out on it. Now has that Terror Wave, that extra 10 seconds in Metamorphosis, that Fear ready to go. Eurus, we'll see how they go about it, and if this is going to be a game-changing item. Because it certainly can be. The extra Metamorphosis.
So many Eon discs from both teams. There's a smoke from Elephant. 500 has the Lincoln, so I'm not sure how they're going to proc that one.
Fissure as well as the same down on the Eurus. Trouble the Rabbit King. They're going to bring him back on the board. Step Kenny's around himself. Who's trying to spin on the balance? Trying to get the kill. He just fly out. He's not going to have buyback. They get the kill on the end. They'll take out Shaw on the side of Elephant. Nothing dead on the side of LGD. Red Panda trying to run away, but GG is called. Elephant will tap out of this game. LGD will take game one. They bought out on the Ags on TV. Didn't have buyback.
They could have